Are you an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VISBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VISBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VISBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Good morning and welcome everyone to the VISBDC's hosting of VBOC, Understanding Markets and Your Competitive Space. In today's dynamic business landscape, understanding your market and competitive space is crucial for success. This VBOC webinar will equip you with the knowledge and tools to analyze your target market, identify your competitors, and develop a competitive strategy. Today's lead presenter is VBOC Outreach Specialist Juan Marrero. Retired U.S. Army Sergeant First Class Juan Marrero joined the VBOC Region 2 team in April of 2019 as Outreach Specialist to provide business training, counseling, and mentoring to veteran entrepreneurs in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Juan is bilingual in English and Spanish and brings a unique skill set and familiarity to the population he serves in the region as they start or grow their own small business. Juan was an active duty service member for 22 years. He has an extensive training background, skilled as a highly qualified professional in the manufacturing industry, and experience providing ERP or enterprise resource planning with services such as software testing, production support, training, and solutions implementation. Juan completed a technical degree in computer and network repair AutoCAD from the Universal Technology College of Puerto Rico and studied chemistry at Inter-American University of Puerto Rico. Here's a friendly reminder to put your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed by the presenting team either directly in the chat or later during our question and answer segment. A copy of this presentation will be attached to the post-survey email, and we ask that after this live session, you take a few minutes to fill out the survey that lets us know how we're doing. So without further ado, Juan, the floor is yours.
Sharika, thank you very much, and welcome everybody to another class, another set of knowledge transferring from us VBOC to you, the veteran. First of all, I am a veteran myself. I was in the Army for 23 years, active duty, and retired in Puerto Rico after I spent like 3 years teaching ROTC students in college. We really like to give quality training and quality mentorship to our veterans, so that's why we're here through the SBDC in Virgin Islands to give you the opportunity to see what we can offer. Thank you for your service, and we know all the sacrifice and everything that you and your family went through. We provide a lot of different services, just like the SBDCs. We are partners through the SBA, and the only difference is the SBDC they have the opportunity to bring this to all American citizens. We do just veterans. So if you, at the end of the class, if you have any questions, we can give you a point of contact numbers and emails, and we can keep in touch. So let's start with today. Today we're gonna be talking about Boost to Business, and within the Boost to Business, I'm gonna explain what it is. we had this module 3 that talks about understanding market and competitive space. So let me talk real quick about the Boost to Business. The Boost to Business is a course that started with the SBA for the veterans. And the Boost to Business was for just transition from military to civilians and for civilian life. And then we created the Boost to Business reboot so we can take this to the veterans that they have the opportunity to transition and to the family members. So we do a Boost to Business at least once a month here in Puerto Rico, and we go to the Virgin Islands also. So if you have the opportunity to be part of the Boost to Business course, please do. It actually creates that foundation, and it is an eye-opening opportunity for you to be able to see what's going on within the business world. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with understanding the market and the competitive space. So let's go. So his objective is to understand how to conduct market research, the importance of market research, and the basics of competitive strategy analysis. We're going to understand ways to conduct low-cost customer validation and market research, and we're going to understand how to evaluate an industry. And we're going to talk about what industry is all about. Here's the agenda. Here we go. Okay, so when we look at the big picture, we're talking about you as a planning to become a business owner. You have an idea, okay, and you have developed that idea to a concept, and now you're looking for resources. You are doing different type of investigations, analysis and research. One of these research and analysis that you have to conduct is market research. Within the market research, you need to understand, you need to identify who's your target market. So within your, your product or the service that you're going to provide, the question here is, who's going to buy your product? It's going to be women, or it's going to be men, younger generation, older generation. So you need to identify who it is, so you can actually focus all your effort in not just trying to get them to know you, but advertising. What is your product all about, etc. You need to get that to that target market instead of going wide and trying to capture everybody. So when you identify your target market, it gives you the opportunity to tunnel all your effort towards one specific target market. So you need to identify and need to learn how to set sales projections. Projections are very important. They're not estimates, okay? It's projections, and you need to learn how to get projections done. We can help you with that, as a, being mentor and talking about training. And also you need to identify your competitive industry. Within your industry could be a lot of different key players, and could be, I'm talking about your competition, and I'm talking about people that are going to help you, that they're going to be there for you to be able to supply, and help and deliver your product or your services. So you're going to analyze your key competitors. You're talking who's going to be your competition. And once you identify your competition, then you need to formulate a strategy and how to deal with that competition. Competition is good, believe me. We always see it as a negative thing. No, it's not. It's a positive thing. It's going to help you in the very beginning in your planning process. It's going to help you a lot. So very important you understand that it's a big plus for you. Okay. Some quick distinctions, just to let you know, when I'm talking about the market, I mean customers. Okay, market is customer. Marketing is different. It's trying, marketing is all about how do I get to those customers, okay? So when I'm talking about customers are the one that gives you their money, all right? They're going to pay for something that you provide. It may be different than those that end up using your product, all right? And a good example is in the auto industry. Toyota in this case, they actually create the car, but you are not the direct a customer. The customer is actually the dealership. Excuse me. So you become what would they call an end user. And also, when we talk about the industry, we're not talking just about competition. Competition is just a very little part. It's a huge part within the industry. The focus in suppliers, people that will support your company, like distribution, packaging, those are very key. Okay, for me, when I give the class in the Boost to Business, I stress every time that suppliers are very key in the success of your business. You don't have a supplier, I'm talking about inventory. I'm talking about if you know, here in Puerto Rico, we have a lot of issues with the electricity. So if you need diesel, gasoline, or anything to get to keep your business going, if you don't have a good supplier, you're gonna have to stop operations. So remember that suppliers are very key for your success. So you need to continue to always look for the best supplier that you can get, right? So when we do the analysis, the market analysis, there are 5 elements that we need to actually keep attention to. First of all is the market size. It depends what you're selling, okay? Depends what type of industry you're working on. You need to find out within your location if it's going to be a physical store, or if it's going to be a virtual store, how big your market is. That will give you, an opportunity to understand how your sales projections are going to be. You need to understand the demographics and geographics, where they come from, what they do, where they are, what is trending with those customers. And you need to know about psychographics. You need to learn how they think, right? So this takes a while, and this is something that people take for granted that is easy to do. It is not. There's different tools provided, for you to do this type of analysis, but there's nothing better for you to do the face-to-face to the customer. Back in the day, we used to do interviews, surveys, right? And you used to provide the product or the service that you provide to the customer, and the customer will actually see it and get to talk to you. But now we use a lot of tools through the internet, social media, and different search engines search. And it's different ways that we do actually this market analysis. Okay. So the key questions when you looking for a good market analysis is who very precisely are the customer, and that's what we call the target market. Your target market. Who's going to be your target market? How strong an incentive do customers have to give you their money? What is the pain? So whatever you provide, it needs to be taking care of something that the customer has to buy your product. Remember that. Okay, we're going to be talking later on, I think it's next month, we're going to be talking about different classes, and one is going to be talking about your business model and your economic model. And those 2 different models are very key to understand how the customer will give you their money, because you're providing some kind of fix or some kind of solution of a problem that they have, okay? Also, what evidence can you provide that the market will grow? Okay, demand. Is there a demand for whatever you're selling, whatever you're providing? It has to be a demand. We don't want this to be a one-time shot. We want the customers to come back and come back, okay, to spread the word and more people come back to buy your product. So demand and how big the actually how you call it, the market will be is very important to understand in the very beginning. Okay. Here's some tools that we provide. They are there for you. The primary market research tools. We talk about interviews, surveys, focus groups. Something that we don't use much anymore. I used to go to college and interview a few college students and let them know that I'm doing a market research. I have this product. Here's a prototype, and I need you to use it and let me know how it is. Okay, we don't do that anymore. And the interviews, the survey, the blogs. Okay, so something that needs to come back because it was very successful when we use these tools in the past. Now we see a lot of company annual reports, Google, the search engines, news reports. Okay, so it's like a long distance type of market research, and we gotta be careful with that. We're trying to get very precise data when we trying to get these questions and these answers about the market in your area. Also, always remember about test marketing. Okay, when you have a product or a service and you never actually it's something new, you need to create a prototype. You need to create something for nothing and actually test it and make sure it works. There's something that we talked in the class before is called the value proposition. Your value proposition as a business owner, okay, is a promise that your product will work as you say it's going to work, right? So why we do this testing and this prototyping? Because we got to make sure that whatever your value proposition is covered by your product, okay? Here's a few internet places that you can find information about market research: sbdcnet.org, USA.gov is just a few. The census, we use that as a tool to get information. Just be careful that the Census Bureau, they conducted the last census right through the COVID-19. So the data is not a lot. It was very it shrunk a lot of what it used to be, but it's still data out there. Okay. Market research, like it says right here, is an imperative. It's something that must be done. Okay, because at the end of the day, what he says right here in these 6 bullets, it lets you get to know more about the customers, what they want, how they behave, the ability to pay. It's very important. He provides you with a chance to update and improve what you already do. Whatever product, whatever service you're providing, when you talk to the customer and you see what they want, really, you can make some changes and make it more, more what they want, so they can give you their money for your product. It allows you to have first contact with the customer. Okay, this is the first time they're gonna get to hear from you and your company. It provides you with more confidence and availability with other stakeholders. Helps you to reduce a lot of risk in your business, and is really the true value of the business plan. Reminder, your business and industry type will affect how you do your research. So get a mentor. Don't do this alone. There's many ways for you to understand what's going on here. So when you finish, taking the Boost to Business, or when you talk to the SBDCs, the SBDCs over there in Virgin Islands, they provide you the mentorship and the training necessary for you to continue on. Okay, very important that you get a mentor. So from the market, we go to the industry, right? So the industry is your playground. I call it your playground. It's when you as a business owner, you are part of this industry that you're going to have a lot of business owners and businesses in there. Okay, very important. It's not just the last bullet right there. It's not just about the competition. If you see that number 1 is the key players, you need to create a good team of key players within your organization, to help you support your efforts. Okay. Within the industry, learn how to grow and see the trends that are going on in your industry. What is selling more? How they're selling it. And you learn from your competition. Okay. We always talk about broad versus narrow. Here in VBOC, we teach always for you to start small. Small, but you're going to have more active customer base that have very specific needs. That's what we're looking for to start, right? When you get in big, you have to be more into the expertise to get the right customers, and you're going to have to sell more. You need to provide more. So it's going to be a larger customer base, and it's going to be a lot more work. So always recommend start small. Okay, start small with planning to grow from the very beginning. When we sit down with the veteran, we tell them, okay, let's start like this. Because we're talking about money, time, resources. There's so many things when you go big that's going to keep us busy, right? So try to start small with always with those plans to grow, right? So when we talk about competition, we talk about three different type of competition. You got your direct, your indirect, and your future. So your direct is somebody that actually sells something identical or very similar to what you have. Indirect is something that we're seeing a lot right now with something close of what you're offering, but also substitute products that do the same thing as yours. You gotta be careful with this indirect competition because we don't take it as a threat, but because they are indirect, but they can come up with something that actually can replace your product. You gotta be very careful. And you're gonna have your future competition, and these people are the one looking around to see what's selling and to see how can we take advantage of the trending of your product. So we see that a lot too with, for example, China and these countries that have developed products very similar of what you see over here in the States. Okay. Talking about government contracting, this is something that is very, very attractive. It's not for everybody, but if you are thinking about government contracting, just go through a mentor and somebody that done this before. Go and see what are your options. You know, government contracting is a huge industry, and we're gonna see it right here. He's the world's largest buyer. He sells over $500 billion a year. Okay, so it's something that is there, but like I said, it's not for everybody. So just do your research, look at it. Okay, it's very important. There's different. The SBDCs can provide you with help. We can provide you with help. We have the women business centers in Puerto Rico. It's different. I'm telling you, there's different resources that can help you with this. Excuse me. The main thing about government contracting is that the first thing you got to do, you got to find the federal agencies that can buy your product. Okay. Do not disapprove yourself saying, okay, what I'm selling right now, the government is not going to buy it. Honestly, you don't know. You don't know. There's so many things that the federal government buys, and you'd be surprised. Find your expertise, find your niche, okay? It's very important because the competition is crazy in government contracting. You will be surprised in SAM.gov how many organizations, businesses are registered in there. I'm talking about thousands, tens of thousands, okay? And everybody's looking for that good contract. Okay, so if you're gonna get yourself into government contracting, please make sure that it's something that you are very good at, because that way you can get face to face with the competition and trying to win those contracts. Understand the areas of government spending. We all know that Department of Defense is one of the big areas. So look at Department of Defense and see what they buy. Okay, and know your competition. In this government contracting, it's going to be done in this web page. It's called SAM.gov. In SAM.gov, one time you register your business in there, you're going to be able to see contracts of your competition. How long is the contract for? How much was awarded for the contract? What they're looking for, the requirements. So learn. That's going to help you for the next time these contracts open up, okay? So please, it's something that you need to do a lot of research right here to understand what government contracting is all about, okay? There's a few help right here. I need to update this page right here. PTAC is not called PTAC any longer. The name is Apex Accelerator. Apex as APEX, Apex Accelerator. and they will provide you with a system about how the government contracting setup is all, is all about. They do a face-to-face normally, or they also do online help. They are here in Puerto Rico. I think in Virgin Islands, they open a new one there. And I don't know if it's in St. Thomas or St. Croix, but please check with them. They're the first one. They're gonna help you get this government contracting set up for you to be able to be part of the contracting awardees, okay? Oops, sorry. So remember, this is all about the customer. It's something that we understand. I always talk to people that say, you know, they got this saying that the customer is always right. That's not true. But for us business owners, it's all about the customers. Without the customers, you will not have your business. So always remember that. You got to do more for the customer. Customers create market-driven opportunities, right? It doesn't matter what anyone think about your concept, except your customers, because they're the ones that are going to buy your product, okay? If they don't care, no one will buy your product. Good quality market research includes gathering information from your customers. So for me, that's very key, and I said it in the very beginning. When we talk about market, we talk about customers. And your customers, you need to know what your customers want. You need to know how the customers spend their money. And how, you know, honestly, this is a manipulation business, right? You as a business owner need to learn how to manipulate the market. Customers can help you refine and perfect your business concept and business model. I told you the follow-on classes, we're going to talk about the business model. In the business model, I'm going to give you a little something up front. You need to learn to say, you know, to be able to provide something to the market and create dependency from the market to your product. I'll give you a good example, coffee. Coffee is an industry that is growing and will continue to grow. Why? Because there's so many people out there that honestly, they're addicted to caffeine. They love their coffee. And the number one thing every morning when they get up is to get a cup of coffee. So you got many companies, okay? And the masters of this is Starbucks. Starbucks is a company that they are the masters of their business model and the economic model, okay? So the business model is how you create that dependency from the client to your product. Okay? And the economic model is how you capture that dependency and make money out of it. That's it. So this is something that we teach from the very beginning, because you as a business owner, you need to develop that skill, okay? You need to develop the skill to be able to sell something that somebody will want it back again, again, and again. And then you need to learn how to make money out of it, okay? There's three elements when talking how to make money. It's called the economics of your business. It's three elements that you need to learn to balance. It's cost, price, and volume, okay? So if you perfect your business model the way you would, okay, and you balance how much you pay for your product to be made, how much you're gonna sell it for, and how many you need to sell to make profit, then we're talking, okay? And this is something that we talk in the mentorship and trainings that we do, okay? It's something that you need to start developing now in the very beginning stages. You have a lot of skills, experiences from the military that you need to bring over to business ownership, okay? I talked to this last week, and I'm talking about leadership. Team management is so important nowadays, and it's many others that you need to take them from the military that were developed in the military. I have a lot of friends, civilians, you know, never military. They had to pay to get these skills developed. And I'm talking about thousands of dollars to get these classes and trying to get the skills developed. You have those skills already developed because you've been in the military and you had to deal with the people, and you had to deal with the missions, and you had to deal with many things. So please bring those skills, experiences, and everything. I'm an Army guy. In the Army, I remember from the very beginning, they used to say, hey, Juan, you need to, we need to do this, we need to do that, because the Army is all about hurry up and wait. And we all know that. If you're in the Army, you know that the Army is all about hurry up and wait. You know, wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, even though that we had to execute at 5 p.m. It take us whatever time to get ready. And it's not. It actually created patience in me. It created flexibility in me, right? So I brought that to the business owner side of the house. And now I can be patient with customers. I can be patient with the development of a product, the development, okay? But at the same time, I'm flexible to new ideas. I'm flexible to try and change and do different things. So that's why it's so important to bring those experiences, those skills from the military to the business ownership side of the house, okay? So here's the key takeaways for today. Analyzing the market will help you determine who is most likely to buy your product or service. And it also allows you to determine if there is a sustainable demand. Two things right here. You need to know who's going to buy your product. One time you know who's going to buy your product, they're going to come back and buy again. Okay? So very important. Let me give you an example right there with Apple. Apple created the iPhone. And I remember there's a lot of fans of Apple, and they used to buy the same phone, closely the same, every year. Just because it was a little faster, had a different chip, right? Whatever. But they buy a product that was good to go, maybe for 3-4 years, but no, they buy every year. Why? Because Apple created that thing I was talking to you about, the business model. People were depending on the new iPhone, okay? But then they started realizing that they were making a good product, and people started buying the iPhones every 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 and 5 years. So they kept the same iPhone for 5 years, okay? So Apple was like, oh my God, there's no demand because we're making a good product. So they're being penalized for create a good product. So what they did, they said we have to make money somehow. And what they did, they created services, the iClouds, all these services that they have that you pay, I don't know how much money. I know they got this package, it's called the Apple One. It's like $42 a month, just services. It ain't got nothing to do with the phone itself, it's just services. So why? Because they analyzed the market and they realized that the product was so good that they weren't making as much money that they used to. That's something we got to do as a business owner. The number 2 right here, analyzing industry is an important part of understanding the attractiveness of the opportunity. Seeing the competition, what the competition is going through, okay? Talking to the suppliers, what the suppliers know about the industry is going to build you up. You're going to learn so much from the industry's the way they look at things. Consider the key factors that you need to examine to really understand the industry as well as your competition. You need to learn about everything about your industry. And I bring it again, suppliers. Suppliers so important. At the end right here, an outcome of this process is to arrive at a competitive strategies that leverage the inherent value of your concept. So you need to understand that when we talk about competition, we're talking about competition space. And all you need to do is to create your own space within that competition. And then you can compete. Don't let the competition push you out of that space, okay? So become a competitor, and make sure you understand and you take your little space within that competitive space, okay? So that's it. Just want to let you know that the market research, industry research and analysis, understanding the market, understanding the demand of your product, those 4 things are so important for you to be able to be successful, okay? All this that I'm talking about, all this you do it in the planning process. Because when you get to the execution, when you open your doors and you start selling your product, I want you to be confident that through that door, the market is gonna come because you done your analysis already, okay? All right, so I hope this was helpful. Is one of the modules that we teach in the Boost to Business. We got 8 different modules, so please feel free to research about the Boost to Business. We do Boost to Business at least, like I said, once a month. Last month we were in Virgin Islands, in St. Croix, St. Thomas. We did it virtual, so we always around. So please, if you get a question, I'm gonna give you my email real quick. My email is Juan Marrero, JuanMarrero @outlook.com. Juan Marrero @outlook.com. You have any questions or you want to know a little more about the Boost to Business, just drop me an email and I will be like super happy to provide you the information. Do we have any questions?
Thank you for that one. Yes, there's a question in the chat. Would you please speak more about psychographics?
Yes. Psychographics is about, let me go back. Psychographic is about the behavior of your market. Okay. You got a lot of, like me, I'm an impulsive buyer. Okay. I see something new. I'm into technologies and business. That's my 2 industries. When I see something new, for example, now everybody's talking about AI and how AI can improve my business, and that's what I always think. And then I remember ChatGPT started. Then you have another one, and then you have another one. Believe it or not, I have a subscription pretty much with all of them, and I'm always testing to see which one is best. So if you are the business owner and I am the customer, you know what I do. So you say, okay, one as a customer is a very impulsive. It will buy whatever is new, and he will test it and make sure it works for his company. So it's psychographics is about not only learning the behavior, so just learning how your customers think. Why? Because like I said in the beginning, this is a manipulation game, and you need to learn how to manipulate the market. And if you know how they think, how they behave, and what they want, that's going to be a big plus for you when you get into marketing and trying to get your product to the system. Okay. That's it. Any more questions?
Thank you for that. I don't see any more at this time. Okay. There's another comment. I have no questions, but thank you for reinforcing that competition is a good thing and that we must be prepared with a strong value proposition by putting in the work to be successful. This is a great presentation.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so as we wait for more comments or questions, I'll just go ahead and say that the VI SBDC has so much more in store for USVI small businesses. You can visit our website at www.visbdc.org, download the VI SBDC app on your mobile device from the appropriate app store, like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Business, and subscribe to the VI SBDC YouTube channel for new uploads of our on-demand webinars. Let me take some time to mention some of our upcoming training events. On June 12th, we have How to Become a Federal Subcontractor. That's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Tomorrow in person on St. Thomas, we have SBA resources every small business should know, and that will be from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. On Friday, June 13th, we have Pivoting for Growth, turning challenges into opportunities. That's a webinar. On June 17th, we have Securing an SBA loan for your business, how to get approved. On June 18th, we have a hybrid workshop, Basic Tree Planting. That's in collaboration with the Virgin Islands Agriculture Business Center. On June 24th, we have an SBA webinar entitled Business Resiliency as Disaster Preparedness. On June 25th, we have Basic Tree Pruning. That's an in-person workshop. Correction, that's a hybrid workshop in collaboration with our Virgin Islands Agriculture Business Center. And on June 25th, we have VBOC back again presenting an introduction to business planning. That will be a webinar format at 11 a.m. So we do have another question in the chat. What is a good way to get a start at government contracting as a non-veteran?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Okay, so good question. I tell you what, it's all you need to be is a U.S. citizen. I'm gonna tell you what the difference is. As a U.S. As a veteran, you will have these certifications. That's something we can talk later in the classes. To do business with the government, federal government, there are different types of certification that you can actually take the test and certify yourself. For example, if you are a veteran, you can certify yourself as a veteran, or you can certify yourself as a disabled veteran. You can certify yourself as a women-owned business. You can certify yourself as a hub zone, rural areas. So it's different type of certification. So what is the difference? Is because sometimes when you're trying to get into contracting, these contracts required that you are certified as whatever. So if you're not a veteran and that contract requires a certification as a veteran, so you as a civilian, you cannot bid right there for the type of contract. So that's the only difference. But there are plenty certifications for civilians, like I said, women's own, hub zone, and the different others. You can get with the SBAs, with Wayne over there in the Virgin Islands, and he can help you out with the different type of certifications provided by the SBA, to help you with this contracting certification. So yeah, but that's the only difference is that it depends on the contract. The contract requires some certifications, and you need to learn about the certification to make sure you got them and be able to go there and trying to win those contracts.
Thank you for that. We have an additional question. How about enterprise businesses?
Well, an industry as an enterprise is something that I always talk about when you find a mentor and make sure I call it you have to have a click with your mentor for you to develop your idea. Myself, when we talk about enterprise, is a wide range of industries within enterprising, and you just need to get somebody that knows about enterprise. I bet you the SBDCs have a lot of knowledge on that. I haven't done no enterprise mentoring since I started, so I cannot talk too much about what is the trending, what is the developing, and the process to develop somebody in the enterprise businesses. But please get with your SBDCs. You got the women-owned business centers that can help you with. And if you want VBOC to help you, believe me, I'll find a way and to get the information that you need. But haven't done any enterprise industry yet.
I also saw in the chat enterprise businesses certificate.
Say again? Oh.
Someone also put in the chat enterprise businesses certificate.
Well, I don't think it's an enterprise business certificate. It's the certificates always they're looking for some specific qualification from the business owner to provide whatever service or product that will provide. So the government, I don't think it is a certificate straight for the enterprise business. So just to let you know, but you need to identify which agencies deal with enterprise businesses. That's the first thing you got to do. When I'm talking about agencies, I'm talking about USDA, the SBA itself, the Department of Defense, whatever agency within the federal government will buy your product, and then you go from there.
All righty then. Thank you for that. So the question has been answered. So I don't see any more questions at this time. Alrighty. So once again, I would like everyone to take a few minutes after this live event, fill out the survey, let us know how we're doing. And it's always a pleasure collaborating with VBOC for the Puerto Rico and USVI. So thank you for your time and attendance here today, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.